He said that when we are with the Prophet ﷺ, he teaches us about something. What does the Prophet ﷺ, what was the Prophet ﷺ teaching them? About the hellfire and the Jannah. What do we learn from this? We learn from this that we as people who give reminders and as parents, we have to constantly remind our kids about the Jannah and the hellfire. You cannot raise your kids saying, oh, you have to pray, you have to read Quran, you have to do all these things, and do not do that kind of tazkiyah, purification of their heart and their soul. We have, as parents and as people giving lectures and reminders, to spend so much time doing what the Prophet ﷺ did with what? Describing the Jannah, describing the hellfire, describing the time of death, describing what's going to happen to us at the last few minutes of this dunya, the first few seconds of the akhirah, the life in the grave, the life of the what's going to happen in the hellfire, what got the clothes of the people of the hellfire, what's the food of the people of the hellfire, what's the drink of the people of the hellfire. That's something that can pierce the heart, that can motivate the heart. If you tell your kids, pray, 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 and you are not doing that kind of purification, like the Prophet ﷺ, here he's telling that the Prophet ﷺ would tell us the description of the hellfire and the Jannah as if we are seeing it in our own eyes. And he will, that heart that's hearing the description of the Jannah and the hellfire will have so much stronger iman, so much fear of Allah, so much hope that he will be in the Jannah. But if all what you're going to teach him, this is how you pray, this is how you fast, this is how you do zakah, and that's it, the heart is struggling. So, here's the question. What's the drink of the people of the hellfire? Yesterday I was with some students and we talked about the hadith of the hellfire. Wallahi, they are young students. And if you see the fear that they had on their face when they heard about the description of the hellfire, it's something that really stuck me, because that's what the Prophet ﷺ was teaching the companions. That's how those companions understood the deen of Allah, talking about the hellfire. And then we talk about the Jannah, and everyone wants to go to Jannah. Khalas. Everyone's like ready to go to Jannah. That's what we have to do as parents, as people of giving lectures, to connect the people in their hearts, connect their hearts with the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, what's the drink of the people of the hellfire? Ram. Boiling water that will melt their bowel. Type. What's the food? Yes. Zajrat al-Zaqum, fatah Allah alayk ya Rayan. And what's going to happen to them when they are burned in the hellfire? Their skin will get roasted, right? The skin will come off. What's going to happen to them? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will create another skin for them. For what reason? To feel the pain again. That constant pain, agony that they are having through the hellfire. Something that brings the fear to our hearts. SubhanAllah, I was thinking, this is actually maybe a scientific miracle that Allah said that every time their skin comes off, Allah will create a new skin for them. Why it is, I think, I don't know if that's true or not, but I believe I see it as a scientific miracle of the Quran. Why do you think it's a scientific miracle?
The skin that feels the pain.
For the halal. Because the structure, the part of your body that feels the pain is in the skin. Those fibers, the nerve fibers, fiber type C, that carry the pain and temperature, are in the skin. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, every time the skin comes off, we're going to create a new skin for them. So they will have that pain. Yani the brain itself is not painful. But what's painful is that skin, yes.
Another thing is the people who get like the burn of third degree, they don't feel anymore.
Yeah, subhanAllah. So that kind of constant pain that they are having in the hellfire. Yani imagine that, what's the percentage of the hellfire in intensity compared to the fire we have in our own life? throw a number that the hellfire is a lot worse, how much worse than the fire that we have in this dunya. Now try to set a fire and put your finger in the stove while it's on, and you will not tolerate 1 second. You're gonna pour right away. Like, what's that? How intense? How's more intense the hellfire compared to the fire of this dunya? 50 times? 70 times? أنا بطلع الله عليك. شو؟ 80 times? Maybe 100 times. The Prophet ﷺ said the hellfire is 70 times more than the fire that you have now. Now, to get things even more scary, is that the number 70 does not mean 70, exactly 70 in the Arabic language. When they say 70, mean that so many more times that you cannot count. So the intensity of the hellfire is a lot, way more than the intensity of the fire of this dunya. And the companions, when they heard this, they said, Ya Rasulullah, it's enough to have the fire to be similar to the fire that we have in this dunya. It's more than enough. And the Prophet said, that's one of the hellfire is 69 more than the fire of this dunya. When you hear this hadith, you get that fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The people of the hellfire will be begging for something. In the Quran, we learn that the people of the hellfire, they will be asking for something, for some relief, some help. What do you think they will be asking for? Huh? One day off. وقال الذين في النار لخزنة جهنم ادعوا ربكم يخفف عنا يوما من العذاب. قالوا أولم تكن تأتيكم رسلكم بالبينات قالوا بلى قالوا فادعوا وما دعاء الكافرين إلا في ضلال. So all what they are expecting from the dua, making dua, is to have one day break of that punishment. Will not happen. What do they beg for besides one day off the punishment? Huh? Water. وقال إن ونادى أصحاب النار أصحاب الجنة أن أفيضوا علينا من الماء أو مما رزقكم الله قالوا إن الله حرمهما. Are they going to get that water? No. What we just read in Surah Qaf today, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يوم نقول لجهنم هل امتلأت وتقول هل من مزيد. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will, Allah said in this ayah that the hellfire, they will ask the hellfire, do you still have space for more people after it's full? Imagine the hellfire is all full with people, full. And they would be asked, the hellfire would be asked, is there more space for you, for people? What you would say? What the hellfire would say? Yes, there's more people, bring them on. Out of the anger, تكاد تميز من الغيظ. يعني the hellfire is so angry at those people that they are falling in it that it wants to create more pain for them. هل من مزيد. That's the description of the hellfire. Description of the Jannah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said here, لهم ما يشاءون فيها ولدينا مزيد. They have everything you wish for, everything you desire, everything. That's the description of the Jannah and the hellfire. The companions used to hear from the Prophet ﷺ, they will see it in their own eyes. And then their iman goes up. The fear of Allah goes up. The trust in Allah's mercy goes up. And they wanted to stay in that state. But then they go home and they go back to their normal life. The most important point I want the youth to remember from this is you cannot live your life just for the prayers. I know how important the prayers are, but the prayers is only 20 minutes a day. And if you don't include in your schedule, in your busy schedule, at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, every day, to get to know something about the deen of Allah. The description of why we don't read a book about the day of judgment and what's going to happen on the day of judgment. Why we don't read a book about the hellfire and the Jannah. Why we don't read a book about the time of death. Time of death. Sakaratul Maut. وَجَاءَتْ سَكْرَةُ الْمَوْتِ بِالْحَقِّ. And this is not only for the youth, for all of us. Yani, ibadallah, we need that kind of constant reminder to soften our heart, to purify our heart. And we have to be sure that we include in our day something beside the prayers that connect us with the deen of Allah. If you know, understand Arabic, the best way is, of course, to read the Quran and understand the Quran. But for the new generation, they memorize the Quran and not understanding what the Quran. So how can they connect with the Quran? Yesterday, I heard one of the students was saying that he will have 5 minutes to read 2 ayah, and 5 minutes to understand these 2 ayah, and 5 minutes to memorize those 2 ayah. Wallahi, that kind of approach is so much better than memorizing the whole Quran and not understanding one word of it. Sure? 5 ayah? I'm sorry, 5 ayah. At least I have a witness that is true. So, the point of the Quran is not just to memorize it. And you find we have competitions and we have, subhanAllah, kids coming to, we should finish in a few minutes, come to compete with each other, and they don't know anything about the Quran. But how that can purify themselves? How can they connect with the book of Allah if they don't understand the meaning of it? So if you cannot understand Arabic, and that's a major disaster, especially for the youth. Yesterday, I'll tell you the story. I went to one of the places we were having dinner with the kids, and I was in my thought. And the brother behind who was selling me, he said, Assalamu alaikum. I said, Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And he turned out that he has half Arab, he's half Lebanese, and half Colombian. But anyway, the point of the story is, and I asked him, do you speak Arabic? And wallahi, I looked at him and he was like, I wish. I was like, I wish my parents taught me Arabic. It's like, it's just a beautiful language, and I wish I had resources to help me to learn Arabic. And I looked at my kid, right? And I said, you see, that he's in his 20s or his 30s, and he's saying, I wish I learned Arabic. And you can feel that in his face. You can see that in his face. Like for our kids, you have your parents, you have so many resources. We just need to bring that motivation to their hearts to learn the Arabic so they can connect with the book of Allah. So when they hear about the description of the hellfire and the Jannah, something pierces their heart, something softens their heart. And if you cannot do that, which is a major disaster, at least find an English book that teach you about the deen of Allah. Not only about how to pray and fast and do zakat, how to purify your heart, how to connect with how to understand the description of the hellfire and the Jannah, and how to predict and how to prepare for that moment. Shuf ibadallah, I finish with this. I know some of us might be scared of death. And that's a normal feeling. But we can turn that feeling, the fear, into a positive feeling by what? How you turn the fear of death, the fear of the grave, the fear of the hellfire into a positive feeling.
Getting closer to Allah.
Huh?
Getting closer to Allah.
Getting closer to Allah and be knowledge. Yes, all you guys are correct, but the word I'm looking for is to be, when you are going to fight something or you're scared of something, what do? You prepare yourself. So the more you are prepared for this moment, the more fear or the less fear you will have. Less fear. So if you are scared of death, if you are scared of the grave, if you are scared of the hellfire, and we all are, then just be prepared. And that will help to control your fear. And that's why you don't want to wait till for the moment of death to tell Allah, I'm scared of the death and the hellfire. We have to be prepared from now. You have to be scared of those things now and take care of it. Be prepared. And when you are traveling for vacation, wallahi, I have no doubt most of us will prepare for this a week or a month before the travel and be so excited. But that journey that you are doing, which is for eternity, and after that moment, the death, you cannot come back, doesn't deserve to be prepared for it. Preparation is not only with the prayers. It's not only those 20 minutes. We have to purify our heart, purify ourselves. Just like Hanzala did when he said that, I'm with the Prophet, I see the Jannah and the Nar in my own eyes. And that will strengthen our iman. We'll continue the hadith inshallah next week if we're still alive. We ask Allah to benefit us from what we heard. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.